See, in sports, there's this thing that happens sometimes, a sort of phenomenon where a team comes into a game so confident of their win that they don't even see it as a competition. They've already convinced themselves that the victory's theirs, even before the game starts. But then reality sets in. That overconfidence starts to unravel the moment things don't go as planned. You miss a pass you normally make, your timing feels off, mental mistakes start piling up. Turnovers, sloppy defensive plays, miscommunication. You start second-guessing yourself, forcing plays that aren't there. And then suddenly, you find yourself in a shootout with a team you beat 10-0 just 12 months ago. What the f*** just happened? We just witnessed probably the biggest upset ever in the history of the World Juniors. And if you watch my recent video, you know that this tournament is filled with history. I mean, we've seen Kazakhstan beat Canada in 1988, or even Belarus beating Sweden in 2002, but I don't think anything comes close to what Latvia just pulled off. They were plus 4,000 to win this game, and you couldn't even bet on Canada to win because the books thought it was such a no-brainer. It wasn't even fathomable that Canada could lose this game. But hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. The puck dropped in this game and people were expecting to see an absolute slaughter. And I mean, who wouldn't? Last year in the preliminary round, Canada put up a 10-piece on them, with Celebrini recording 5 points. Take it to the all-time record, Canada's 4-0 against Latvia in World Juniors, outscoring them 41-4. Pretty much, they were due to score 10 goals every single time they played Latvia, and even more so with this roster. You have Gavin McKenna, the 17-year-old phenom who's already being called the future first overall pick in 2026, alongside Porter Martone and Matthew Schaefer, two of the top prospects for next year's draft. Returning players like Easton Cowan, Braden Yeager, and Carson Redkoff added experience and firepower. This team was loaded with NHL talent at pretty much every position. On paper, they were unbeatable, a team built to dominate and bring home yet another gold medal for Canada. Honestly, it's hard to even imagine how Latvia could keep up with this team, let alone pull off a win against this roster. But that's exactly what makes what's about to happen just even more unbelievable. The teams were surprisingly tied at the end of the first period. But it's not like it was even. Canada had their chances and even thought they scored at one point, but it was just a close call. Two things went wrong this period. One, they didn't score. They came into this game as heavy favorites, and even that's probably an understatement. Sportsbooks had their spread at around 5.5 or 6.5, and if you don't bet on sports, it's basically like saying, this game's already over, we're just deciding by how much. So with a spread like that, Canada was obviously expected to set the tone early and put this game to bed in the first period, but obviously that didn't go as planned. Instead, they let Latvia hang around with them and even catch them off guard at times. They even gave them 2 power plays, which, I mean, they didn't score on, but it still lets them get a feel for the game and get some shots on goal, which they had 9 of, just 3 less of Canada. The second thing that went wrong is that just 5 minutes into the game, their star defenseman Matt Schaefer left the game with an injury after colliding with the post and the boards awkwardly after his quick rush on the power play. Losing Schaefer was huge. He was arguably the best Canadian player in their game against Finland, where he had a goal and an assist while logging more than 20 minutes of ice time. Losing him was not only going to take a hit at their defense, but it was going to take a hit at their offensive production. The second period began with Canada not only still scoreless, but also down a defenseman now, which was far from the start they envisioned. For Latvia, though, being tied 0-0 after the first period was a dream scenario. Their game plan was pretty simple. Hang on for as long as humanly possible and weather the storm. Because, let's be honest, everyone expected Canada's offensive onslaught to come eventually, it was just a matter of time. But then, just a few minutes into the second period, the onslaught looked like it was beginning to start. They took yet another penalty, but before Latvia could even do anything on the power play, Jet Luchenko jumped on a careless pass and outweighted Feldsberg for their much-needed first goal. Hopefully this would start a chain reaction of goals, put them up like 5 or 6, and then put this game away. The nerves are out now, they can start piling them on. And they tried. They ended up outshooting the Latvians 20-4 during that period. It finally started to feel like how Canada-Latvia should feel like, but still, it was only a 1-goal game thanks to this man right here. Leonards Feldbergs was the 19-year-old Latvian goalie. pretty much the only saving grace for his team. If they want any chance of winning, he has to play like prime Carey Price, and so far, he's doing a pretty good job of doing that. Third period starts, and we're about halfway through. Canada is more than doubling Latvia's shots, but still they can't break through. They had another close call with the post, but close doesn't cut it. See, this is where the mental mistakes start to happen. Sure, they're winning, but let's be real for a second. This game should not be this close. Canada was winning gold medals before Latvia had even played a game in this tournament for the first time. The difference between these two hockey programs was night and day. The province of Ontario alone has almost 8 times as many people as all of Latvia. This game should have been over 40 minutes ago. But yet, here we are. 6 minutes left, and Canada is still giving Latvia a chance by putting them on their 6th power play of the game. And then, after failing to get the puck out, then failing to cover your man, the game is tied.
Osmanis works it, feeds it back, and they score! Matejko, power play goal, and Latvia's tied the game with 6:42 to go in the third.
And although this goal is riddled by Canadian errors, you can't discredit Latvia. They worked hard to keep the puck in and then move it, and this cross-seam pass from Osmanis to Matejko is a thing of beauty. Wait, stop. Am I reading this right? The shots are 19-41. You better hope you can pull this one out, Canada. And they must have been thinking that themselves, because just a minute later, on a power play of their own, Callum Ritchie absolutely nukes this puck from the circle to put Canada up 2-1. Alright, all you have to do is play keep away and make simple plays. No stupid penalty. Are you kidding me? Ethan Gauthier for hooking, giving Latvia their 7th power play of the game with just 2 minutes to go. Then,
Osmanis feeds it back across, Lipschitz tees it up, they score! From the point, Pateras Pulla!
the building is silent. You could hear a pin drop. Fans cannot believe it, and we've got ourselves overtime. I mean, this probably goes without saying, but the advantage in overtime goes to Canada. They have the most skill on their roster in this entire tournament, and when the ice is opened up to 3-on-3 hockey, they should have no trouble skating circles around the Latvians. And they did that immediately, with Easton Cowan's nice move leading to a nice rebound and an open net. But Latvia had 4 players trying to play goalie, so this one stayed out. These are the plays that you watched live, and it actually made you believe that Latvia could get it done. They held off the Canadian attack for 4 more minutes, taking this game to a shootout. Latvia goes first, save. Then Canada, another save. Back to Latvia, save again. Then it's Gavin McKenna's turn, the prodigy. He takes his time, saved by Feldbergs. Latvia shoots wide, Martone messes up his move. They continue like this for a while, and at this point I don't really know what's more unbelievable. The fact that Canada is currently in a shootout against Latvia, or the fact that Canada hasn't scored in the shootout against Latvia. Hockey isn't exactly what Latvia is known for though, but they've done an incredible job building their program over the years. Since their first World Junior Tournament back in 1993, they've been relegated 5 times, but every time they've fought their way back and became stronger. This team is made up of players who want it so badly. Then, with an average age of 18 and 5 16-year-olds on their roster, the future of Latvian hockey looks brighter than ever. Now, there's just one more thing to do.
Moves it and shoots, scores! And Latvia has shocked Canada, taking down the host country 3-2 in a shootout. Their first ever win against Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship. One of the biggest upsets in the history of this tournament.
Mama, tēti, brāli, sveicieni visai ģimenei, draudzenei, es tevi mīlu!